Lori is late again. I try to get on here closer to 11 o'clock because that's when things kind of start winding down and I start getting a little more creative. But it didn't happen again. Tonight I was making some sourdough bread, and that takes some time and attention. And then I had to prep a lot of my things here. Let me turn down the volume. I just turned on my other device so I can see if anybody joins me. So welcome. This is Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you at 11:29 p.m. June 18th. So we had a lot of fun last night making, or at least I think we did, making these little gift card holders. I did 3 different colors. So I did the Darling Duckling. We did Strawberry Slush. And this is just a little piece of tissue paper in there to hold a gift card. And we did Timid Tiger. So those were the 3 from last night, just slight variations on them. And then tonight, I was going through, I think I was going through my uplines page. I was looking for a post from when she went to the incentive trip. I have not been on one yet. I would love to, but these things take time. And anyway, I was looking for this particular tote because a friend of mine is very into Disney, and I wanted to make her a Disney tote. She watches my chickens when we're out of town. She's one of a couple of folks that tend to our chickens. We call them our chicken tenders. So I made this for her, and since I was still playing with the Notes and Totes, I thought I would work on a little fun fold. So I've got a lot going on here because I tried to cut out some of these pieces ahead of time. So I thought I would work with the Timid Tiger because you might not realize it, but apparently I am really drawn to the Timid Tiger. I like this shade of orange for whatever reason. It's really captured my attention. So who knew that of all of my in-color pieces, all of my Timid Tiger is, oh, I have one more piece. It's about gone. So I have determined that that's probably my favorite color out of that in-color pack. And I thought it was Strawberry Slush. But I'm also using a little bit of the Woven Textures designer series paper. And I don't know, I've shown this before, I think when it was like brand new. But these are all like different textiles. And they're pretty cool. Like woven basket designs. So we'll set that out of our way because I think I have my pieces cut for this. And I have an idea. Hi, Emily. Sorry about that. I was reading hello and I mixed it with your name. That's how my brain works sometimes. So yeah, chicken tenders, that's what we call them. Even on my little instruction sheet that I had for these 2 couples that watch our chickens for us, when we went to Raleigh for onstage, the title of it was, you know, something like Dear Chicken Tenders. So that's what we call them, our chicken tenders. We all get a kick out of it. So excuse me. So anyway, we are going to use this textured notes. I think I'm going to do a little thank you because we're going to make a gift card holder. And I might want to use some of these dies. I'm not sure. I haven't really decided. We're just going to kind of walk through this stuff and see how it goes. So Emily, I'm glad you are able to join me live. Whew. So I have to kind of get my bearing here. So I cut several of the tote pieces because I want to put it one on the front and then I want to put one on the inside, but as a tote. So I think I have enough pieces. Yeah, I think I have enough pieces. Actually, I might need to do one more of those, but I can always do that later and add that on. So let me get rid of that little scrap. I did some of these little pockets already. So here's what I've got. I've got some scraps, and we can kind of decide what we want to do here. So this fun fold, to me, you could do it either way. You could do it landscape or portrait or landscape. But I was thinking that with the tote, if I did it on the front here, I kind of wanted it to look like a billfold. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for. All right, so I'm just going to use one of my tote cutouts for that. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of this stuff on here right away just so we can get rid of the pieces. Now, when you die cut the tote, and I don't know, Emily, do you have this set? I don't know if you've played with it at all. But when you cut out the tote, the bottom to make a 3D item has this little flap on here. And that's what goes in here to kind of close up the bag so that you don't have a hole. Now, when we did our gift card holders last night, I wasn't worried about that little hole on the inside. Hopefully you can see that. So I actually trimmed those pieces off. All right. So the one for the front, I've already trimmed that one off. And let's go ahead and glue these little pieces on so that I don't lose them, because that would be my luck. So you should go over to my Facebook page, Emily, and add a comment with some of the pictures of things you've done. I like to see what other people have done with their kits, and you know, it inspires all of us. So this one I'm going to put close to the fold here. And tonight I planned ahead, and I'm putting these little straps on before I put the base of the bag on. And I'm just using my tweezers so I'm less likely to get myself all full of glue, because that happens. And this is just regular, the multi-purpose liquid glue that I just put in a little fine tip bottle from the $1.25 store. That I found them, they were like a 3 or 4 pack, when that was still the dollar store. But now I call it the $1.25 store because the one by us, they've raised everything to $1.25 or more. There's not much there for $1 anymore. And hopefully that will change because, you know, fuel prices are coming down, so other prices should come down too. But I almost wonder if the retailers figure, oh, we've been paying these higher prices now, so let's just leave them there. Because we're already kind of desensitized to the high prices because we've had them for several years. So I'm hoping stuff will come down. All right. And this will go here. And that will cover up our little, the bottoms of our little straps. And then for my handles, what I like to do is I like to put 2 of them together just because it gives it a little more stability, and it doesn't seem as flimsy to me. So the little bit of time it takes me to cut out an extra piece, I think is worth it for the appearance to be a little nicer for the card, you know. And then, so you've only made the one-sided. Okay, so did you watch the replay from last night? I know you commented, and I don't remember which video you commented to, because I get comments, you know, from the replays after the fact for several videos. Sometimes it's not always just the previous one. So I lost track. So anyway, we'll put one of the totes together. So if you didn't see it last night, you'll see it again tonight, and how we do it in the fun fold. Now I didn't practice it in this one, so we'll see if it kind of works out. It'll be similar to this one, but it'll be a little bit different. So we'll see how it works. Hopefully it'll be good. And then this, we're just going to put glue on this bottom part here. And try to center it. A little bit of my glue came through. And then I've got my little rubber eraser. We'll just flip that off of there. Okay, so last night is the one where we made the gift bag with the tote bag, or the gift card with the tote bag. So you might like that one too. We'll see. We'll see if you like tonight's, and then you can figure out tomorrow's. All right, so here's the one tote. I'm not going to glue it onto the front here yet because we're going to put some other layers on this card. So with this fun fold, I was scrolling through looking for, I think, this bag, and I happened across a fun fold. I don't remember who did it. I didn't come up with the idea. But basically, and I don't have any of the measurements, so I tried to figure out what would work for me. So I took a piece of my 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I cut it the long way at 5.5. So this is more than 8.5 inches. All right, so this is wider. So this would have been the 11 inch. All right, so I cut this down to 9.5. All right, I've got 5.5 here, 9.5 here. And then what I did is I scored it at 3 inches, and then I scored it at 7.25, so that I've got 4.25 here in the middle. All right, math was kind of hard for me, so I just figured that's close. I'll put 3 inches here, just so long as my top flap was bigger than what will be my bottom flap. I was happy. All right, excuse me. It didn't have to be spot on for me. All right, so when we fold these and burnish them, and I have some glue on my glass mat, so I'm gonna go get a rubbing alcohol. I might have some here, and I might not have it handy. It might be buried, and I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. Time to housekeep, sorry. I don't want everything sticking as I work on it. Granted, it's usually going to be on the back and it shouldn't matter, but my fingers stick to it too, so. All right, so I think that's pretty good. I don't know what I did that I got glue everywhere. Probably when I was working on this, because I didn't have a card to put it on. All right. That's pretty good. All right. I think we're dry enough. All right. So we've got 9.5 by 5.5, scored at 3, and scored at 7.25, leaving that 4.25 here. So when we burnish, this is how it's going to look, because like I said, I wanted it to kind of look like a purse-ish wallet sort of thing. So then what I did, because I thought I only had a little bit of my Timid Tiger left, I think that goes like that. And because on one of my other cards, we used Blackberry Bliss, and it looked quite striking. Not that it was my idea, but it was part of a color coach suggestion. Whatever other project I did, I don't even remember which one for sure it was. But I thought it looked kind of cool. Makes it look a little regal, maybe. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And this piece, because this is 3 inches, I cut this to 2 7/8, and then this is 5 3/8, I think, across there. Just basically so I've got a 16th inch border. So I just cut it so that it was a layer size. You guys can figure that out, right? But I think we're 5 3/8 by 2 7/8 would take care of that layer. So let's just get that on there. And that's just a light layer. It might look like a lot of glue, but it's really not, because it's a very thin layer. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this piece here as well. So this is going to be 5 3/8 across also. And then this piece, because this is what, like 2 1/4. So this is at 2 1/8. 2 1/8-ish. Okay. So So we'll glue that on. I like to glue my pieces together as soon as it's practical, just so that I don't lose pieces and then I don't have a whole lot floating around my table, because I have a tendency of burying things and then wondering where I put them. I know I had it here a second ago. So before I push this down too hard, I was just lining this up to make sure that my edges are lined up, and they are actually pretty good, if I do say so myself. All right, so then I had just a scrap of my Timid Tiger. And what I'm going to do then is, I think it doesn't really matter. This was 2 1/4 because that's just the size I had left, because I probably did 3 3/4 from a 6-inch sheet. So this piece is just going to go over here with a little border on it. And because this was 2 7/8, that's the same length that I cut this one. All right, so we'll glue this one on. And I hear my phone dinging from time to time, so if you can hear that, I apologize. I think we've got text messages maybe coming in. We've got a family thread, and we have family coming in from Arizona for a much anticipated baby shower this weekend. So we've got a lot of family coming in, and they should be like landing and getting picked up from the airport and that sort of thing. So of course, with an Italian family, my husband's Italian, they communicate a lot when they're excited about things. All right, so this piece, let me just get a better hold on this. I'm going to turn this sideways because I'm left-handed. So I'm going to just kind of hold that here. And I'm not going to press it down real hard yet, just so I can kind of scoot it where it needs to be. And then we'll just put this on here a little more firmly. And that's why I am a big fan of the liquid glue, because then I can shift it a little bit when I need to. Like that piece is just a little up high on the Blackberry Bliss. So, all right, so there's that. And that, I don't know, maybe it does look a little pokey, I don't know. But this is going to come on here. So what I need to do is, I'm going to cut off this piece here because we don't really need it. Actually, I think I'm just going to give it stability, and I'm just going to glue it to the back. That'll work. Since we put all the other pieces together. And then these pieces too, I'm just going to glue as well. Oh, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I was just thinking, what do I want to put inside the bag that's on the front? And this is how I get glue on my glass mat, I'm sure, because I didn't pull out my silicone mat. All right. So this is going to go just on here. And I don't know if I like that or not. I had some other little scraps, because this Blackberry Bliss seems like a lot to me. It seems kind of intense. We could probably just put a couple of random pieces on here. What do you think? We'll break it up a little bit. And then this piece could go here. What do you think? Any opinions? That might look like kind of silly too, I don't know. I won't glue those down yet. We'll see. I might want to do something else there. All right, and then I need to put my little pocket on the bag too. So I already put dimensionals on there. If anybody has an opinion what I should do on that Blackberry Bliss side, let me know. I maybe should have cut it down so that it was just bordering this, and I could have left the Timid Tiger in full force. There, that can go there. And then this can have something in it too, all right? Whatever we do here, I want it kind of 3D-ish. No, that doesn't look good. Okay, put these on here. Okay. I tend to agree because that Blackberry Bliss is just pretty intense. Or we could use the opposite side, but that might be a little busy too. We'll wait on that piece because when we open it, we'll see what happens there. All right, so we'll do something like this. I actually think I might kind of like it with the other side on here. I think I like it horizontal better because we've got this going vertical and this can be horizontal. But now it's like, do we want the stripies or the leaves? What do you think? Stripes or leaves? We'll think on that. And we could actually probably put part of this on here. This is just going to go on here, and I'm going to do it so that only the edges are glued, because then I think what I'll do is take this piece here. Oh, that's what I could do. I could put the little newsflash, you're fabulous. And we could do that in white. Let's give that a try and see how that looks. It's supposed to look like a little newspaper sort of thing, or exclusive made just for you. We'll do this. The other DSP, the stripes or the leaves? Donna. Thanks for coming, Donna. I just realized that was a different name popping up there. So this is a collaborative effort. We're going to see what looks good. So we'll all be all in, right? So we'll do this. So Donna, because my tablet shows me the comments slightly delayed, I'm not sure what other DSP we were looking at. So we've got the stripes. We've got the leaves. Or we've even got the tote that I put a little color on from another project. But if I don't have it colored, see, I don't think that's going to look right. So it's going to be one of these, I think. And then we'll put another piece down here. Now, the other thing is, since I did find, I have some more of these too. Since I did find that one last piece of Timid Tiger, we could go floral instead. That might be kind of fun. That's a scrap. So you saw somebody on YouTube had downsized the catalog the size of the new, oh, like the Stampin' Up catalog? Oh, that's a fun idea. That would be a very fun idea. So what if we put some little strips of this? Let's just cut some, I don't know, 1/2 inch-ish. And then if we snap about there. I'll have to remember that idea about the miniature picture of the catalog. That would be awesome. I'll put that there. We could even make a thinner one. And give it even more personality, right? So Donna, you're in Australia. Awesome. Is it like 3 in the morning there, or are you in a different time zone? I'm not sure how far ahead of you, because you're actually on Thursday the 19th now, I think, right? I can't keep track of all the time zones. So if we do something like this, just with some different sizes, kind of breaks it up a little bit. What do you think of that? I don't know, maybe that little one doesn't work. I don't know. All right, so let's come back to that. Let's go ahead and I probably should have cut this out first. We'll see how it works out. I'm trying to line it up by looking under the light. We'll see. Let's get our little Betsy out. So it's 2:55 Thursday. Okay, well I'm learning. I have somebody else that watches me from Australia. I don't see her commenting tonight. And I wasn't sure if you were in the same time zone or not, because I think Australia's got a couple of different time zones. Like we've got 4 of them, 4 or 5, depending on if it's like daylight savings time or not. We'll see if this works here. Otherwise, I'll just have to stamp it again. So that's kind of, oh, okay. So maybe this is like, it looks like binding on there. I don't remember it doing that the last time. It's got little edges on here from the die. But they're supposed to be there, so it's probably supposed to look like the book or a newspaper. All right, so let me get this out of the way. So we could do something like this, and that would break up. That would break up the, I don't think that's quite enough, although maybe it is. Or if we put the bag over on that side there, what about that? We could put the bag over there, and then this will come out. We might not even need these back here, although they are kind of fun. All right, we'll figure that out in a minute. I'm going to hang on to these pieces. Those will go there. Now, to make this into our fun fold, I am going to close up my ink first, because otherwise I'll probably end up in it. Emily, I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means. If maybe some letters got missed. So anyway, I am going to put some tear and tape here on the edges of the smaller piece. So this is the piece that's going to be on the bottom of our little like billfold appearing card. Normally I just tear my tear and tape. But today I used my snips. All right, so we're going to wait on that, and then we're going to have another piece that is basically just a smidge less than 4 1/4. So remember, this is our 4 1/4 section. So this piece is 4 1/4 minus like a 1/16 of an inch. And then I just scored it at 3/4 of an inch, just so you've got a fold here. Actually, it's going to go like this, just so it's scored, because we're going to attach that to here. I don't know if you've done very many action cards. It doesn't take a whole lot for them to be action or, you know, movable. All right. And then it has to just be long enough so that it comes under this flap. So if you're doing this on your own and you want your flaps different sizes, just make sure your flap is tall enough to capture the bottom of your little strip there. And the width doesn't really matter a whole lot because we're going to put something on top of it. You know, we're going to have, like, my intention was to have a gift card in here. The bag and the newspaper on the right. Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice touch too. So here we're going to use some tear tape again. And when I do my tear tape, I like to just put my fingers through the roll, and it helps me steer it and control how much is coming loose. And then it doesn't get away from me. All right. So let's see if I can put these in here. All right. So with this piece then, we're just going to kind of put it in the middle-ish. All right. And basically, I want to make sure that it sits down far enough so that it's not getting bunched up by either of the folds. All right. And I think that's pretty close. I could measure it, but I'm not going to because it's not that important to me. All right. So then we're going to put this little bag together pretty quickly. And let's just snip this off here. I'm trying to think how I'm going to put this together. Oops. I hear text messages coming in on my phone. Hopefully it doesn't buzz on your end. So one set of family was supposed to land just a little bit ago, I think. So then we're going to do more tear tape here. All right, so Emily, I think this is probably the part that you didn't see yesterday, was putting the bag together. And you can use glue or tear tape, whatever is your preference. And we're just going to put this, well, let's turn it around here. I'm left-handed. I have a hard time doing stuff sometimes with my other hand. And I'm just going to trim this off the end. Over here. All right. And I like to use either my fingernail or my bone folder, and I burnish my tape onto my paper. All right. So this piece then, we're going to put these back to back, or front to front rather, and line them up so that our corners match and the side matches. The bottom is going to be a little off because of how the die is, and that's just the way it is. All right. And then this piece, you know, I'll turn it back so I've got the inside on the inside, or right side out. And then here I'm just going to work so that I'm matching up these top corners, and then I can kind of guide the side. All right. And then for our bag, because we want it to be flat, I am just going to glue these into each other. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some tear tape right here. I haven't done it this way before because with the fun fold on the card last night, when we did it here, one flap got glued to this side and one flap got glued to this side. They did not overlap. And that's what pulls the bag open when we do that card. All right, so this is just slightly different from that because this is actually going to be flat, but I want it to be able to hold a gift card. All right, so let's just push these in, unstick my fingers, and there. Then it'll still have a way to catch the gift card, and it'll have some dimension. All right, so what we can do now is we can go ahead and attach this side. Maybe. Make sure this is down. And we're just going to stick those in there. I'm going to get rid of some of our debris. So you can see when you open this, this piece now slides. Okay. So let's finish decorating our little bag here for the inside. And the one thing I was looking at earlier is when this is closed, the bag needs to go up high enough. And this doesn't. So when we put this bag here, we're going to put this one down low enough so it's camouflaged. And whoever gets the card is never going to know. Okay. And then this is going to be attached onto here, so it's going to move up. If it works, keep your fingers crossed. Because like I said, I didn't practice it. So this we'll put over here, I think, right? I think that'll look cute. All right. So let's go back to decorating this. Need my tweezers again. And my fine tip glue bottle is here. Yeah, that, Emily, the card that I made last night, that one where it's got the gift bag or the tote inside the bag, that was demonstrated for us. I think her name is Becca Santos. I know it's Becca or Rebecca. I think the last name is Santos, but that I could be wrong. But she demonstrated that at Onstage for us. And I knew I wanted the set before she did her demonstration. But then when I saw that, I don't remember the other cards that she demonstrated, but I do remember that tote bag in the middle of the card. That one stuck because I knew I wanted to try it. So that's what we did last night. So again, that wasn't my idea. It's an idea I got from somebody else. But that's how you spark creativity. You see something that somebody else has done and then like, oh, I could do this. Or you could do it, exactly the same, copy and share everything. Or, like I say too, copy and slightly edit. That's what it means when we case things. Because it's all about just being creative. All right. So I don't need to see the other side of this, so I'm not putting any of these embellishments on the other side because it's going to be attached here, okay? It's going to be attached right on the top of here. And I can't attach it on this whole section because when I fold the card, that won't work. So we're going to be doing it just probably a little strip across here, and like I said, cross your fingers that it works. I got another pocket here. I usually use my the pointy tip to my take your pick tool to get these off, but I think I have enough pieces out here right now that I probably don't need another tool laying around. So then here, what I'm going to do is glue these together, of course, because I like the stability of having two pieces together. And I put them so that the wrong sides are getting glued together. And I just think it looks better. To me, it just looks more finished. Yeah, copy and slightly edit. Sometimes I case them almost exactly or exactly. And you know, I do that probably more out of the catalog than anything else. So let's see if, okay. So what I discovered was my handle would be too big. So I thought what I would do is make it look like the handle was folding over, like the bag was open. So that's what I'm shooting for here. Okay. So we're just going to fold that and we're going to glue that to that bag. This has taken me a little longer than I had hoped. I apologize for those of you that don't like long videos. I try to keep them short, but it just sometimes doesn't work. And when there's people to chat with, it makes it more fun. And sometimes it takes longer because I'm trying to watch comments too. Oh, I don't look for typos unless I just can't understand the word. All right, so this is going to be here. Now this little pocket, if we wanted to do something fun like here, I made the little sunglasses because I did not put a glue dot on that top. I only put, or dimensional, I only put the dimensionals around here. You could put something in that little pocket if you wanted to. And then too, with these sunglasses, when you use the die, it gives you these little hearts, and I just stuck those onto my pocket for the bag for my friend. And then this, oh, this tag too, I did 4 pieces. So I did red on the outside, and then I did 2 black ones on the inside, so it looked a little bit more like, I don't know, like a luggage tag sort of thing. All right, so this will go here. And what I need to do is put a glue, probably my tear and tape, and it can't be more than that wide. And I'm just going to put 2 pieces on here. And hopefully this will work, because it needs to be able to tuck into, this strip needs to be able to tuck into the pocket. Okay. So let's see how this looks. Excuse me. I didn't bring my water in with me tonight. So we're going to go like this. And you know what we could probably do? We could probably have taken this little piece out and stuck it that way, but it's fine. All right, but then we can just tuck that back in there. Okay, so it's probably going to get stuck. They'll just have to be careful when they put it away, or it'll sit as an open card. So that didn't work quite how I wanted it to, but we're going to go with it, because if I modify it a little bit on another try, you know, I could put like, well, if we put even like another piece of, no, because that wouldn't work because it'll come out. But you could put another piece of like designer series paper or something under the beach bag, and it would pull up, and then it wouldn't get caught. It's only going to get caught because this pops up. But hopefully, you know, maybe, I don't think a gift card is going to fit in there and not get stuck. So the solution to that would probably be to make this longer and then this piece a little bit shorter. So we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and put this on. Now, keep in mind, we're not going to glue it all the way on the bottom. So I think what I want to do is, before I glue this down, I'm going to make another tote with the same color, or I could probably just cut a scrap because I don't want that edge piece to show ugly, you know. So we'll just do this and we'll kind of trim around here. Had I played with this a little bit more ahead of time, I might have had all these little kinks worked out, but you know, what's the fun of that, right? Sometimes it's just fun to create and maybe make mistakes and adjustments as you go. So this piece I'm just going to glue onto here. Get rid of this. I think I can get rid of that. Get my glue. And then this will cover up what we don't want to show. Just shifting it down a little bit more. All right. So this will come on here. So we can go ahead and just maybe we'll do tear and tape like down to about here. So across here. And then up the sides. That way if you wanted to put a little something in the tote, you could do that too. Well, Emily, I'm glad you enjoy watching. I've gotten past trying to have everything planned because sometimes the creative process is just laying things out and looking at the colors and seeing what works and what doesn't. And then too, when I have people watching along and they leave comments, it helps because then you get kind of the perspectives of other people. And I just want to make sure that my glue is not going to get stuck here. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to have to work on this because that's not working how I wanted it to. All right, but this can go. And then that can go. We'll get rid of a little bit of the debris here. Maybe. There we go. And then, oh, I guess I should have put that on here. So I guess we'll see if we can pull this up gently. I could probably get my heat gun. And we can also cut it a little shorter. Who's going to know, right? Except that if I was going to do it like a newspaper here. All right, let's do this again. See if this is big enough. Nope, I need a new scrap. Of course I do. All right, so we're going to cut this first, and I'm going to stamp it after. Because last time I stamped first and tried to cut it, and you can't really see through that die. So the other thing, I didn't mention it when I was first cutting out the piece. When I have square dies, I try to put them so that a corner leads, like here, rather than a straight edge, because it's easier for the machine to adjust to a small piece rather than a bulky piece, if that makes sense. So I'm going to waste a little bit of cardstock here, but it doesn't really matter. And then usually I have my plates offset. There we go. So you can see 1, 2, and the second number 2, they're all offset so that it's stair step. That makes it a little easier for the machine to adjust. All right, we'll try this again. All right. So let's do our little news flash again. That's here. And I did that with Blackberry Bliss. All right. And I could put my Pearson mat under there because it's photopolymer. Sometimes I get a better image. Otherwise, I just kind of hold it on there for a few seconds, and that's slightly crooked, but we're going to go with it, I think. So this then would come down here. We'll have to peel a little bit more off, I think. There. That'll work. So let's just put a little bit of glue under here, I think, and we'll be good. Does that look all right, do you think? Yeah, I'll cut this. Yeah, whoop. Guess not. We'll do it again. Hopefully this looks all right. Sometimes with the tear and tape, if you just add some heat to it, it'll lift up. All right. So I may have to rework this and do a little something with the DSP. I'm not sure that I like that, you know, that's what I was going to do. That's why. So the next one, I'll cut these, I think, with these dies, and that'll give it just a little different texture. I think that might look a little nicer. So when this comes open, it's fine. And then you could put, you know, like a dollar bill, well, a $10 bill or something in there maybe. I think I have a single close by. So you could fold up a dollar bill, you know, a 10 or a 20 or 100 if you know. Whatever you want to give that person. And you could do that. So what we need to do though is figure out this because it's getting hung up on the ridge. And it's a little thicker than most cards would be. You might need extra postage on it. I use glue for your card construction. Well, I like the glue because it does give me a little bit of wiggle room. So if I don't press it together real hard initially, I can still shift it. As long as I haven't put too thin a layer on. The thinner the layer, the faster it sets, of course, because there's not as much to dry. I don't know what that little blemish there is. That might be in the paper. All right, so here's kind of the idea. They would see money in there. It's like, oh, cool. Here's my card. And this might work better without the tote. But I really like the tote, so I wanted to kind of play with the tote. So what you could do instead of having a tote on the inside, you could, and I could take that off and redo it. You could just leave the tote on the outside. And you could take like this off, pretend that's not there. And if you put a different slider piece in there, you could just attach more postage for $100 bills. You could just attach the gift card to your slider piece, if that makes sense. Let me get my heat gun and see if, let's just do a little test. My finger's getting really hot. Obviously, I've never done this before, but people have told me it works. Oh yeah. Oh, and that's right, I put 2 rows of tape on, didn't I? Oh, look at how easy that one came off. So it was a little warmer. All right, so that test was successful. Heat gun works. Then I'll just take this out. So what you could do then is, instead of putting another tote bake in there that gets it really thick, this can go in here, and we'll pretend that's not bent. But you could put, I wonder if I have, Here, if you put like a gift card here, I think this, it would pop out. They would see it. All right. But if you did this way, if you got a gift card that went like this, you'd have to attach it low enough so that it didn't go up past. Let me just put a couple of glue dots on this and see what happens. And I don't want to turn it over because I don't want to display my credit card number, of course. That would be bad. All right, so if we put this like here, as long as it's over that edge, but then they're going to see it. So you'd have to move your little gift bag down. You'd have to move your tote down. You could make it work. You'll just have to figure it out. But I kind of like it with the tote in there. So the tote's going back. And I think I have the tote up higher. So I think my fix would be to make a layer that looks like this and affix it to the back of my tote so that it would slide. And I'm not too concerned about this catching up when they go to close the card because they'll be able to figure out that they just need to push that down. So I am going to work on fixing this, but it's going to have to be with this paper because that's all I have left. And then I would probably just put my message here, you know, whatever I wanted to say, happy birthday or thank you or whatever. All right, so I've taken enough of your time, everybody. Thank you for popping in. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your thoughts as to what will work and what won't work. And at least you have, for this fun fold, whether you use it with a tote or something else, you have the idea of how to make that little action work, okay? So you could make this flap longer and this flap a little shorter, and then or this flap a little bit longer even. You just have to make sure you have enough room for that piece to slide in. All right, and then I would probably put some embellishments on the front of here somehow and go with that. So thanks for popping in. Donna, Emily, who else was here? Donna, Emily, I thought there was a third one. I guess it was the two of you. Yeah, normally I wouldn't go to the orange either for like being my favorite. I do have an accent wall in my crafting space, my studio, that is probably very close to this. It's the orange that I have on one accent wall is a little lighter than this. But then I have a big floral picture. It's like a big dahlia or something that's got like red and some yellow tones in it. So anyway, I guess I like orange more than I thought. But Timid Tiger is just really a nice orange. It is. So I'm going to get back to my sourdough bread. It's almost 12:30, so we went almost an hour. Not quite as long as last night, but I appreciate all of you coming and popping on and hanging out with me, interacting with me. It's more fun when I have somebody to chat with so I don't feel like I'm all alone. And I hope you give it a try. The Fun Fold or the Totes, Notes and Totes, either way. And I think I'm going to use some of these on my rework one, and we'll see how it looks. I will post pictures on my Facebook page, which is Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. And if you want to pop over there, you can always add pictures of projects that you've done as well. I appreciate seeing the other work. So until next time, have a good night and happy crafting.